680's business editor Richard Southern joins us. Happy Monday, Richard.
Happy Monday, Francis. How was your weekend, sir?
Full of hockey, to be honest.
You're a hockey dad. Now, Francis is the guy who never used to like sports.
I know.
And now he's been forced to become a hockey dad, and he's at all sorts of hockey games.
I can't imagine. I can't even believe to tell you how much hockey that I had this weekend. But
well, we got to get you on skates next and get you out on the ice.
I'm very good on skates, to be honest.
Okay, well, you got to
I was almost enlisted to help on ice, but
almost.
We'll see. So let's talk about this new report highlighting the staggering wealth inequality in the world. So the authors say it is a sign that our economic system is actually failing.
Yeah, big Oxfam report out, and it shows some really surprising things. I mean, we've heard this before, but this really underscores just what a serious situation this is. The top 1% took 82% of all the wealth created in 2017. The bottom 50% of the world's population saw no increase in wealth at all. One billionaire was created every 2 days in 2017. Francis, they say that a top fashion brand CEO makes in 4 days what the Bangladeshi garment worker making products for that company makes in an entire lifetime. Yeah, and then there's the gender inequality still persisting. More men own land, shares, and other capital assets than women. Oxfam says this trend shows the economy is skewed in favor of the rich, rewarding wealth instead of work. What to do about it? Well, they point out three things they want government to do. Limiting returns to shareholders and executives, ensuring workers receive a living wage, not a minimum wage, and pushing through legislation to help eliminate the pay gap between men and women.
Well, let's talk about NAFTA. A lot of talk about it over the last few weeks. Now there's a new push to try and save it here in Toronto.
Yeah, this was the scene downtown today. Krista Freeland, Canada's international trade minister, meeting with a delegation from Mexico, including Mexico's Secretary of the Economy. These are informal conversations taking place in Toronto ahead of the next round of NAFTA negotiations, which take place in Montreal. We caught up with Krista Freeland today.
Minister Guajardo is here with his team to have some conversations as we move into the Montreal NAFTA round. And I really want to thank him very sincerely and his colleagues for taking the time to come to Canada to have an important conversation about our shared goals, which are a modernized NAFTA, which is a win-win-win for all three countries in this biggest trading area in the world.
Of course, Francis, Canada and Mexico are on the same page here, but the U.S. is not. Trump apparently upset with Canada over filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization over U.S. trade practices. So by all accounts, the NAFTA negotiations not going well.
Yeah. Well, Amazon has opened its first high-tech grocery store. Richard, there's one thing missing, though. What is it?
Yeah, the cashiers. Francis, they don't even have the self-checkouts. How this works is you take whatever you want off the shelves and you simply walk out the door with it. Isn't that nice? You still have to pay. This Seattle store, known as Amazon Go, relies on cameras and sensors to track what shoppers remove from the shelves, even what they put back. Customers are billed after leaving the store after filing their credit card number. So it keeps a running tally on your phone of how much you bought, which is kind of a neat idea. But of course, we get back to the whole issue here of doing away with humans and all that fun stuff. Amazon didn't say if it plans to open more of these high-tech grocery stores, but of course the company buying Whole Foods last year for almost $14 billion.
Yeah, what if you're an impulse shopper? Just gonna put stuff in your pockets?
I've bought everything. Yeah. Hey, they would eliminate shoplifting, though, I think, because they're going to track everything that comes off the shelf.
So Rogers, our parent company, has abandoned a $100 million joint venture with Vice Canada.
Yeah, Rogers and Vice announcing the end of their 3-year partnership with TV channel Viceland slated to stop broadcasting on Rogers Cable at the end of March. Rogers says it's evolving its Canadian content strategy and will redirect future funding initiatives that, quote, better align with its portfolio and brands, adding that it wants to explore opportunities that appeal to a more broad audience. Of course, Vice kind of targeted towards the millennial segment. A lot of marijuana stories and food stories and it kind of looks like the business report on City, Francis. Vice Canada, though, says it has a new partnership lined up. It wouldn't say who with, though.
Okay. Crisco, a popular brand of shortening, has found itself in the news today for a very unusual reason.
Did you hear about this? So, you know, they were planning for the parades in Philadelphia last night because the Philadelphia Eagles were playing a championship playoff game in the NFL. So to stop fans from climbing up the light poles, Francis, they broke out the cans of Crisco, slathered up the street poles to stop fans from climbing up them. Look at that. It's a mess. It didn't work, though. It didn't work at all. Several boisterous fans were seen ascending the greased-up poles, Nonetheless, this wasn't the first time the city turned to Crisco, which is owned by the J.M. Smucker Company. They did the same thing in 2008 when the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series.
And can you imagine the guy that has to then clean that up?
Well, they said they would send the crews around, but they actually didn't because it rained in Philadelphia. So they let Mother Nature take care of that.
But it is the Patriots versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and now that the matchup is set, the focus turns to ticket pricing.
Yeah, it's going to be played in Minnesota this year, and the tickets, the costliest ever for a Super Bowl. Cheapest ticket to get in the stadium, Francis, $4,300.
What? $4,000?
Yeah. And the average ticket price is $5,600. Most expensive ticket will put you on the 50-yard line in the plushy Sky Club, $66,000 a ticket for that. The average price actually fell after Minnesota failed to get in the game, but expensive. Nonetheless, you and I will just watch it at home. Be a lot cheaper.
We will. Thank you, Richard.